गाइज दिस इज पार्ट 3 ऑफ आर एमपीटी एंट्रेंस एग्जाम प्रिपरेशन एंड इस वीडियो के अंदर हमने बहुत सारे इलेक्ट्रोथेरेपी क्वेश्चंस को टारगेट किया है फ्रॉम डिफरेंट मोडालिटीज एंड टेक्निक्स. सो हर आंसर के साथ मैंने उसकी पूरी डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन भी आपको यहाँ पे समझाई है कि एक पर्टिकुलर आंसर है, सो व्हाट इज द रीजन एंड एक्सप्लेनेशन फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर आंसर. सो आई थिंक यू विल फाइंड दिस वीडियो वेरी हेल्पफुल एंड इन्फॉर्मेटिव फॉर योर एंट्रेंस एग्जाम प्रिपरेशन. एंड इफ यू आर लाइकिंग दिस सीरीज, डू लेट मी नो in the comment section below, and for more such videos, upcoming videos, do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button also. Now let's go and continue our series. So first question here is of assertion and reasoning, so let's check it out. So given below are two statements. So assertion is, during ultrasound application standing waves are formed if the transducer head is not moved during the treatment. सो दिस इज़ ट्रू. ट्रांसड्यूसर वेव्स, जो ट्रांसड्यूसर का हेड है, अगर हम उसको नहीं मूव करेंगे सो स्टैंडिंग वेव्स विल फॉर्म ड्यूरिंग अल्ट्रासाउंड. सो दिस इज ट्रू. Okay, and reason is, cavitation is the formation of tiny gas bubbles in the tissues as a result of ultrasound vibration. So this is also true, but when we apply ultrasound ऑन दी नॉन थर्मल मोड, यानी कि जब हमें नॉन थर्मल मोड्स, नॉन थर्मल इफेक्ट्स चाहिए होते हैं अल्ट्रासाउंड के, सो वन ऑफ द इफेक्ट इज कैविटेशन, राइट, एंड माइक्रो स्ट्रीमिंग, माइक्रो मसाज, दैट ऑल. सो कैविटेशन, बट इसके साथ कोई रीजनिंग बैठा नहीं. सो बोथ आर ट्रू, बट इट इज नॉट द करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ द असर्शन, बिकॉज इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन ये होना चाहिए कि भाई वहाँ पे आपकी बोनी लैंडमार्क्स होते हैं तो बर्न हो सकता है, हीट ज़्यादा कंसंट्रेट हो सकती है ओवर दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट अगर ट्रांसड्यूसर का हेड इज नॉट मूव कंटिन्यूअसली. सो दैट वुड हैव बीन द प्रॉपर रीजनिंग फॉर इट, बट यहाँ पे जो रीजनिंग दे रखी है, इट इज मोर एप्ट फॉर द नॉन थर्मल इफेक्ट्स. सो ऑप्शन नंबर 2, दैट इज बोथ assertion and reasoning are true, but it is not the correct explanation. So both statements are true, that means the same thing. And standing waves are caused by wave interference between the incident and the reflected waves, and if the transducer head is not moved continuously, then the heat will be concentrated and there are chances of burns inside, right? Next question is, the statement 1 says the therapeutic ultrasound can increase calcium ion diffusion across the cell membrane, and statement 2 says therapeutic ultrasound encourages the growth of new capillaries in chronic ischemic tissues. So both these statements are true. Ultrasound gives both the effects, right? So both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. So obviously both statements are true. Next is, for re-education of innervated muscles, keep in mind the word innervated muscles. Which of the following current is used? Low frequency TENS, interferential, faradic and galvanic. Now it is very apt that for muscle re-education we use two currents only, that is the faradic and the galvanic current. One is for the innervated muscles and the other one is for the denervated muscles. TENS we give usually for pain relief, right? TENS is given for pain relief, and along with that IFT, that is interferential current, it is also given for pain relief plus also edema reduction, right? edema reduction. So that means इन दोनों में से तो कोई ऑप्शन सही होने नहीं वाला है, so we have to choose between two. Now one is for innervated and one is for the denervated muscle. So galvanic current is used for denervated muscle, for the re-education of denervated muscle, and faradic current is used for the re-education of the innervated muscle. So the correct answer here is faradic current, because the examiner is asking about the re-education of innervated muscles, right? So the correct answer will be the faradic current. It is a short duration interrupted low frequency current. Now see, faradic current is a low frequency current. So if the muscle is already innervated, it will require only low frequency current. It requires low current, ठीक है, जिसकी intensity low हो. But if the muscle is denervated, it is dead. The nerve supply to the muscle is already dead. So if I supply a low intensity current, would it be able to initiate contraction or re-education of the denervated muscle? No, it will not, because the frequency is very much less. But on the other hand, if the muscle is innervated, somehow to some extent the muscle is innervated, the low frequency current will start the re-education of that particular muscle. That's why faradic current is given to innervated muscle and galvanic is given to the denervated muscle education. Next is, mechanism by which the nerve adapts itself for a constant flow of current is known as accommodation, attenuation, potential difference and impedance. So the correct answer is accommodation. Attenuation क्या होता है कि जब आपने कोई वेव दी, जैसे कि ये एक स्किन सरफेस है और यहाँ से आप अल्ट्रासाउंड अप्लाई कर रहे हो, तो जैसे जैसे अल्ट्रासाउंड अंदर जाता जाएगा तो कुछ वेव्स लॉस्ट हो जाएंगी, ठीक है, और कुछ ही यहाँ तक पहुंचेंगी नीचे तक, सो दैट इज एटेन्यूएशन, राइट। तो यहाँ पे करेक्ट आंसर क्या हो जाएगा, एकोमोडेशन। नेक्स्ट इज फीडबैक लूप इन बायोफीडबैक इज बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब्ड एज, अब इनको हमें सीक्वेंस में लगाना है, राइट, कि जब हम बायोफीडबैक पेशेंट को दे रहे हैं, द पेशेंट इज थेरेपी ले रहा है बायोफीडबैक की, तो उसमें कैसे चेंजेस हमें देखने को मिलेंगे। सो डिटेक्टिंग और मेजरिंग फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंज, कॉन्शियस कंट्रोल, विजिबल और ऑडिट। अब ऐसे क्वेश्चंस में सबसे पहले तुम्हें क्या देखना है कि फर्स्ट और लास्ट क्या होगा, कि अगर कोई पेशेंट बायोफीडबैक ले रहा है, बायोफीडबैक थेरेपी ले रहा है, तो इन ऑप्शंस में से सबसे पहले या बाद में क्या होगा। तो तुम्हारे हिसाब से पहले ये चूज कर लो कि क्या होना चाहिए। सो भाई मेरे हिसाब से जो बायोफीडबैक का मेन मतलब होता है वो क्या होता है कि पेशेंट अपने कॉन्शियस वॉलेंट्री मूवमेंट्स को कंट्रोल कर पाए। तो ये जो कॉन्शियस कंट्रोल है ये सबसे आखिर में आना चाहिए, क्योंकि एंड रिजल्ट बायोफीडबैक का यही होता है। तो भाई जो सी ऑप्शन है दैट विल कम इन एंड। नाउ लेट्स सी इन विच ऑप्शन सी इज कमिंग इन द एंड। सो ओनली सेकंड ऑप्शन इज द ऑप्शन इन विच सी इज कमिंग इन एंड, राइट। सो ऑब्वियसली इन ऑल द अदर ऑप्शंस ए एंड ई is coming in first, third and fourth respectively. So I know from this one decision of mine that second option will be the correct option, and I don't have to see any other option because in any option C is not given as a last option. So again here the trick of option elimination stand out. I have already teased you about how you have to do option elimination in the previous part, that is part 3 or 2 I guess. So you can definitely go and check that video out. So आपका बहुत टाइम बच जाता है, so it is a very time saving trick and usually मैं देख रही हूँ कि ये जो आपके पेपर्स बन रहे हैं फॉर योर MPT एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशन, इनमें बहुत इजीली ऑप्शन एलिमिनेशन हो जाता है। सो यू शुड डेफिनेटली डू दैट। सो करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन नंबर 2, राइट। Next is which of the following are therapeutic effects of hydrotherapy. So for hydrotherapy I have already made a detailed series of videos, so you can go definitely check that out. I will also link those videos or that playlist, particular playlist, in the description box or in the pinned comment. So pain relief, increase in swelling, improved in circulation and restoration of functional activities. Now we know that if the patient is in the hydrotherapy pool, increase in swelling is no way happening, right? So option B will not be the correct answer. Now let us check कि इनमें से option B किस में नहीं है. So only option number 4 is the one which doesn't have option number B. Rest all have option number B. So again through option elimination we get to know the correct answer, that option number 4 is the correct answer. Right. Properties of laser are monochromaticity, scattering, coherence, attenuation, interference. नाउ लेट मी टेल यू कि ये जो सारी प्रॉपर्टीज़ है ये हर एक वेव में होती है, बट वी आर टॉकिंग हेयर अबाउट पर्टिकुलरली द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ लेजर फॉर विच लेजर इज डिस्टिंग्विश्ड फ्रॉम अदर वेव्स, राइट. सो फर्स्ट इज मोनोक्रोमेटिसिटी, second is coherence, right? So A and C is the correct option. So option number 2, that is A and C, will be the correct option. Obviously now laser is a wave, so scattering will be there will be attenuation, there will be interference. Both all the three things will happen with laser waves also, but the thing is monochromaticity and coherence, these two are the things which are particularly and very peculiar for the laser therapy, right? So these two things you don't see in other therapies which we use or give to the patient. These two things you only see in laser, right? So अब हमसे यहाँ पे properties of laser ही पूछा गया है, so the correct answer will be option number 2, that is monochromaticity and coherence. So monochromaticity, that means single wavelength, and coherence means that waves are in phases in time and space. Next is which of the following is the most appropriate dose for treating acne with ultraviolet radiation, that is UVR, right? E1 dose, half of E1 dose, E2 dose and E3 dose. So what will be the correct answer here is, the correct answer here will be option number 2, that is half of E1 dose. So acne के लिए we give suberythmal dose, ताकि क्योंकि आप directly skin के acne पे काम कर रहे हो, so obviously you are targeting the face only, so ताकि वहाँ पे कोई irritation ना हो, कोई burn के chances ना हो, कोई tissue damage ना हो, so that's why we give half of the E1 dose. Next is paraffin wax bar treatment cannot be used in joint stiffness and adhesions, muscle spasm and pain, post immobilization stiffness and fungal infection of skin. So obviously the options are very easy which the examiner has given. So option number 4 will be the correct option, because these three or the upper three options are the indications of paraffin wax bath therapy, right? These are the indications. And whereas fungal infection of the skin or any skin irritation or discontinuous skin becomes a contraindication for paraffin wax bath therapy. So obviously fungal infection of the skin will be the correct answer, because आप wax लगा रहे हो, you are applying wax on the skin and then you take off the wax again and you dip it in the paraffin wax bath, right? So again, if the patient is having skin infection or the fungal infection over the skin, you will take the paraffin away and you will again dump it in the paraffin wax bath. If the person is very naive, he will not know about it कि ऐसा नहीं करना है, so इसलिए ये नहीं करते. एंड ऑल्सो जो इन्फेक्शन है पेशेंट का, दैट विल ऑल्सो इंक्रीज बिकॉज ऑफ यहाँ पे एक हीटिंग मोडालिटी लगा रहे हो. पैराफिन वैक्स बाथ विल इवेंचुअली रेज योर स्किन टेम्परेचर, सो यू नो ऑल्सो इट विल इंक्रीज द रेट ऑफ फंगल इन्फेक्शन, राइट? सो वो हमें नहीं करना है. वी डोंट वांट टू हार्म आर पेशेंट, द नेक्स्ट पेशेंट्स विच आर कमिंग. सो फंगल इन्फेक्शन ऑफ स्किन इज अ प्योर कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशन फॉर पैराफिन वैक्स बाथ थेरेपी. Fungal infection of the skin is the right answer. Next is Riobase is unchanged in denervated muscle, decreased in denervated muscle, first increase then decrease and increases in denervated muscle. So if you have studied about SD curve, I have also made a video on SD curve. If you want to study, you can go and check that out. So in SD curve there are two main terms, that is Riobase and Cronaxi. I hope you are familiar with these two terms. Cronaxi is associated with the current intensity and Riobase is associated with the time, as Rio means time and Crona means current, right? So यहाँ पे the examiner has asked about the what is the Riobase doing when the muscle is denervated, right? So what will be the correct answer here is option number 4, that is the value of Riobase will increase in the denervated muscle, because as I have told you in the previous question also that if the muscle is denervated, okay, that means there is no or minimal or negligible nerve supply to the muscle. So if we give a very low intensity current to that muscle, it would not be able to initiate the muscle re-education. So if we have to plot SD curve for the denervated muscle, obviously, so that means we have to supply more intensity of current so that the muscle can give the stimulus and respond to that particular stimulus or current, right? So that means more amount of stimulus has to be given to the muscle for it to answer your thing. So that means automatically Riobase की जो quantity है that will increase. So the Riobase in denervated muscle becomes, यहाँ पे भी देखो वही बात लिखी है कि जो डीनर्वेटेड मसल्स है उसमें जो मोटर सप्लाई होती है, इट बिकम्स लेस एक्साइटेबल बिकॉज द नर्व सप्लाई इज कैंसल्ड. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रिड्यूस्ड एक्साइटेबिलिटी अ हायर करंट इज रिक्वायर्ड, हायर करंट इंटेंसिटी इज रिक्वायर्ड सो दैट इट कैन एलिसिट अ मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्शन. बट इफ आई गिव अ लो इंटेंसिटी current to this particular denervated muscle, will it stimulate the contraction? No, it will not stimulate the contraction. On the other hand, if the examiner had asked about the innervated muscle, कि what will be the value of Riobase or how the Riobase will affect in the innervated muscle, so the intensity of Riobase will be normal or even less. In an innervated muscle it will be normal because the nerve supply to the muscle is intact, the muscle is innervated. But denervated case में the nerve supply is not apt, it is not there, so that means more current is required to stimulate that particular muscle as compared to the innervated muscle which has a normal nerve supply, normal muscle physiology is intact there, right? So this is all about Riobase in the denervated and the innervated muscle. I hope this clears your concept of Cronaxi and Riobase and the gist of SD curve. So guys, this is all about today's video. I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and for the next part you can definitely go and click on this video.